there was this chant that began in Tunisia and then was picked up across the Arab world. The English translation is, "The people want the regime to fall." In Arabic it is, "Al-Shab Urid Iskat al-Nizam." And that became the sort of rallying cry. Everywhere you went, it was like people singing, "We shall overcome." The Middle East has been ready for a revolution for a long time. Across the Middle East, the vast majority of Arab societies have more than 50% of their population are below the age of 30. And these are people who feel particularly oppressed by a lifetime of living under one ruler, not just one ruler, but one ruler who has systematically undermined any kind of freedoms in their society and failed to deliver economic progress. That began to gather people's sense of both despair and anger. There was a sense across these communities that change is not going to come on its own. We can't wait out these people, these leaders. We have to take things into our own hands. And the final ingredient to this already quite combustible soup was the use of new technologies. Now, because of this new kind of communication, people began to realize, hey, it's not just me. There are thousands and there are millions of us, and we all feel the same way. And then all it was waiting for was a spark. The spark of the revolution was lit when a vegetable vendor in a small town called Sidi Bouzid was slapped by a police officer, a woman, and he felt humiliated and insulted, and he tried to get government officials to listen to his complaint, and when they didn't, in an act of desperation, he set himself afire. And that began the revolution. They were initially protests to mourn the death of Mohammed Bouazizi, and then those began to attract more and more people, and they snowballed into a larger protest against the government. Ben Ali left in January. Within 3 weeks of the start of the revolution, he was the first of the Arab dictators to fall. Tunisia went through a long period of an interim government and trying to sort out how democracy should take shape. And finally, in October, at the end of October, they had the first truly free and fair elections ever seen in the Arab world.
I voted, which is like awesome, like I said. And to show me that I voted, like I said, I will have a blue finger. And I made it like this.
An Islamist party known as Ennahda, which means Renaissance, won about 40% of the vote. They won a plurality in parliament. Now that parliament has a year in which to write a new constitution, and then after that there will be an election for the first real government in Tunisia's history. Once Tunisia happened, then the revolution essentially rolled across the Arab world. Yemen also had a dictator, President Saleh, who had been in power for more than 3 decades. It also had an even larger youth bulge, if you like. So they began protests in the middle of Sana'a, the capital, quite similar to the ones in Tunisia. The revolution took a very, very long time, and it wasn't until November that after many stops and starts that Saleh finally agreed, signed on a deal brokered by the Arab countries in the neighborhood, and early in 2012 Saleh is supposed to leave for good. Bahrain is one of the dark spots of the Arab Spring, and Bahrainis also rose up against their leader, the monarch King Khalifa, and the government cracked down. There were YouTube videos, there were Facebook and Twitter updates of what was going on. It became very bloody very quickly.
We want the dialogue after the government declares about the 60 missing people. We have 60 missing people. Where are they?
But what made Bahrain different from the other Arab Spring countries is that the government was able quite quickly to change the conversation. The government was able to make this about a sectarian clash between the Shiite majority in the country and the Sunni minority. And things are still quite uneasy in Bahrain. The monarch has survived, but there's still quite a lot of disquiet and resentment among the majority of his people. My own feeling is that Bahrain will come back. The people who rose up in January and February will gather their energies and come back again.